What's good, guys? I'm Kevin. Listen, in this podcast, I know.
He doesn't. I'm Mike. I'm the other half, the chubby half, the fly half, and the right half. Because Mike is, you'll figure it out later. This is our podcast, and we're here to long. I'm gonna let my leader go. Go ahead, big dog.
Listen,
General.
let's talk economics. Now, when it comes to poor people, is it really a mindset, a situation, or white supremacy? What are your thoughts?
Why is it all three? That's what my thought is. I'm gonna hit you with this. White supremacy exists. I don't know why people like to ignore him. I don't know why people like to act like it doesn't. White supremacy is twofold. Twofold. And what I need to be clear. When I say white supremacy, I don't mean white people aren't poor. I don't mean white people don't go through stuff. I don't mean there aren't white people that are suckier than black people. That's not what white supremacy is. White supremacy is a system that is set up
Okay.
to keep whites moving this direction and others moving that direction. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's a system that's set up. And the system works because of two things. One, because black people have had a 600-year disadvantage. Okay? We had slavery 400 something years. We had Reconstruction after that, where we were taken from chattel to arrested on the whim and thrown in jail for no reason and murdered and killed and eaten. Yeah, eaten. Go look up your history. They used to eat us. White people are savages. They were back then. And they haven't eaten us lately, but I don't know.
I probably taste like smoked bacon.
I hate him so much. So went from there to disenfranchisement to it starting to look okay in the 80s. The 80s is like the first decade where it looked like they couldn't beat us to death and then not have to kind of pay for it. Not fully pay for it, but kind of pay for it. So think about that. In my lifetime, my lifetime is just when it started to get almost kind of less than super unfair. It's still unfair, but that's how it is. And in all that time, everything that has made this country, everything that keeps this country moving, has been ingrained with white people. When you think of who does the hiring for most places, white people. When you think of who does when you go to your elections, who are the people you see most behind the ballot, giving you your ballot. When you go to CEOs, who's most CEOs? White. Most police, white. Most high-ranking police, white. High-ranking firefighters, white. High-ranking people in hospitals, white. The people that do the hiring, white. So because these systems have all been ingrained, and it's kind of difficult to get somebody of color in those positions. They might hire one here, but above that person is somebody white. Hey, we got a new police captain. Hey, but the mayor's white. Hey, we got a new mayor. Governor's white. Hey, we got a president's white. Control. And the second thing is lack of apathy, because white people do not care about black problems. Is that their fault? No. The only reason black people care about white problems is because white people are the majority and their problems become our problems. That's the only reason. White people are on top. They're the majority. So they're 60% of our country. So they don't. I saw a video today where a man was talking about driving while black, right? And he asked white people in the class, hey, do you know about driving while black? They're like, not really. Asked another guy, you know about it? Oh, I heard about it. What did you hear? Oh, that, I had a friend who did this. And he goes, well, do you know that's what your friend is? He's like, no, but I trust my friend. He wouldn't just make that up. Then he went to black people and said, you know what, drive while black? They're like, hell yeah. And he's like, that doesn't make you a bad person that you don't know about it, but now you do. So, and then they had nothing to say because they're not apathetic. They don't care. White people know. The great Jane Elliott, who everyone knows by saying, there's only one person that allowed at my cookout, and that's Jane Elliott. The only person allowed, only white person. Jane Elliott sat in a room full of white people and asked them, hey, all of you are middle-class people. If I could switch you out right now to be rich, but you would be black, how many would take the switch? And not a white person raised their hand. And she said, no, I don't think you guys get it. I'm saying right now, raise your hand and you'll switch. You'll be rich, but you'll be black. Would you take it? And none of them raised their hand. And she said, that means you know how this country treats black people and you don't do anything about it. That is white supremacy. That's the other half. Now, When I say those things, that make those two things come together, that's white supremacy. That's over here, okay? The poor mindset. That poor mindset comes from white supremacy too, because you believe in genetic predisposition, don't you? You don't believe in, okay. So if there's something genetic, a genetic abnormality in someone, it'll be passed down to their kids. The problem might not, but the trait will. That's genetics. We as a country have proven that trauma can move through generations.
I don't believe that.
You don't have to.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't have to, but it's been shown. We've been more traumatized than we've been free in this country. Okay, there are people who were alive during the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombings, the New York Central Park destruction. There are people who are still alive today who went through that. They're still alive. That means this wasn't that long ago. There are people who were alive that saw lynchings, because people like to think lynchings happened during slavery. They didn't. You know when lynchings happened? After slavery. They didn't lynch you when you were slaves. They would just, why would they hang their own property? They just beat you and said, get to work. It's because white people took so much time to focus on destroying black people, destroying black minds, they were making it a point to keep black mentality as far down as they could. When they were slaves, who did they kill? They killed the smart.
Okay.
They tried to take the smart out of the gene pool. They took the ingenuity out of the gene pool. It didn't work, but they tried. That's so many genetic lineages that were destroyed of intelligence. They made sure they kept the big, made sure they kept the strong, they kept the endurance, a la NFL, NBA. Okay, they kept those. So if you can see that we're bigger and stronger, you can see what that genetic pruning can do. No, am I wrong? You got to admit it. It shows, because when they get mad and be like, why all the NBA players are black? Because y'all did it. That's what y'all did. And if you can see that, then you can see the other side. You would see that this poor mentality was created by them, by what they did to us. Now, being poor, that's the middle. I've done this side, now the middle. Being poor is also something that came from white supremacy, from redlining, from, bank lending practices. They were focused on keeping us here, okay? If you go back and you look back in the day, you'll see that there were so many black towns that were made by intelligent black people. You know what they are now? Lakes. Go around, do your research. Don't listen to me. I'm just some fat guy that's on the internet next to a skinny dude who don't like poor people. Go look on the internet. There are black towns that white people killed everybody, lynched and destroyed them, then moved water, opened up lakes, dug trenches to flood the town so deeply that it's a lake. You can't even see the buildings. They flood the town, and it's not one, it's not two, it's not three, it's high double digits. They murdered millions of us and then flooded the town so nobody would know. It's what they did. It's what they do. So the white supremacy, the poor mindset, and being poor are all linked. Okay? Now, I say all that, that doesn't give you an excuse not to try. That doesn't give you an excuse not to be better. That doesn't give you an excuse not to ingrain into your progeny, that's your children, that's your nieces and nephews, who your offspring, your siblings have as offspring that are yours too. In my eyes, they're your family. It doesn't give you the right to not try to instill in them better. But they have to also know they're up against this and this and this, because it's hard to pass. Hey, I heard a white man told me today how he inherited a house. I don't know a black person that inherited a house. You know why? Because when they were giving out land for free, black people weren't in the list. They weren't allowed to get land for free. You know what they gave it to? Poor Europeans and poor white Americans and poor Europeans from other countries, so they would come over and settle. Now you telling me Montana is full of rich whites who live off the land, and farmers and all that, who are living off the land and got their money off of the land, and black people never had the chance, but you think we're poor for no reason? Land is wealth. Land is wealth, and we don't have it. That's why I get mad when we have so many billionaires. I think we should put together and buy Georgia. I really think Georgia, we should own Georgia and Florida. I really think that. I think we should overpay for all the white people, kick them out, and take. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
Dead serious. Overpay for their land, kick them out, own the land, own the municipalities, get the local government. We could push our people in the local government, push our people in the state government, and have two safe havens for black people. But I'm not gonna talk forever. I'll let my boy get in there and tell you why he's wrong. Because
That
I
was a
know
lot.
he doesn't.
That was a lot. I know that much. Okay, I'm gonna break it down little by little. But all right, so we got into black people. So we'll just talk about black people. In general, I think since we're human, we need to have some type of order. So of course, with order, we need a system. Now, clearly, the system takes advantage of people who are miseducated and kind of takes over people's sense of justice, people's sense of morality, and things like that. So, of course, we're gonna have atrocities over the years, but in general, people need a system, or else we'll just be in like complete chaos. Now, can I say that the system is benefiting one set of people, white people? I'll just say white people. Can I say it benefits white people? Yes, I can say that. Yeah, I can say that. At the same time, I think we're in a better place because we have the internet and we have technology and we have communication. So we're in a situation to where you can't you're gonna have a hard time hiding the knowledge in order for you to move up into the system. I think if we were in India or other places where there's a caste system where they say, okay, because you were born in this family, you're considered and undesirable as opposed to these people who were born in this family. They could have a different deformality. They can be slower than you. They can be this. They can be that. Doesn't matter. They're deemed as better than you, and you're deemed as undesirable. So you stay in this system. But in America, we don't really have that. I think the main issue. We, I don't think we have that. I don't think we have that. I'm not even gonna go say so. Uh, mainly because there's so many black people who are millionaires. Like we have at least I want to say 200K, maybe 100. I don't even know, a million. I think it's 2 million. I forgot the stats, but I think there's 2 million black millionaires in America alone. Either they're a mix of indigenous black people or I'm sorry, foundational black people. Anyways, foundational black people or Caribbeans, but it's about 2 million millionaires that live in America. So when I see things like that, it's like, okay, well, how come how come we're under this impression that black people are suffering so much? Well, I think it's also because of the media. Like, there's a lot of brainwashing. There's a lot of clickbaits when it comes to attention. So it's easy to say that, hey, racism is still alive because, hey, look at this one incident that happened over here where it barely even happens. Um, yeah, they each his own. um, what else you said? But yeah, I think we're in a time where it's easier to come out of poverty. Now, can I say that sorry, can I say that when it comes to the times of slavery, where you were literally held down against your will, where people are literally lynching you? Um, no, of course you can blame white supremacy for that, but I think from 2000 on, now that we have the internet, we have a way of saying, hey, there's a lot of negativity going on in this direction. Hey, you guys make sure you avoid this situation, so that way we can kind of watch out for ourselves. You said something else. I wish I took notes. uh, okay, I'm gonna let you go. Go ahead.
Having millionaires does not make anything fair. A person becomes a millionaire because it's not adroit, what's the word? Because I can't think, but they become millionaires because they're either good at something or something happened.
Mhm.
That's why. You don't become a millionaire because things are fair. LeBron James isn't a millionaire because life is fair. He's a millionaire because he's a freak athlete who had dedication to go with that freak athleticism. Michael Jackson wasn't a millionaire because things were fair. He was a millionaire because he was a freak talent who had freak determination and a father who was a freak at focus. That's it.
Okay. Well, you can't say white supremacy stopped him then.
I never said white supremacy stops anyone.
Okay, you're saying it's making it
I said it makes it way more difficult.
Okay,
because look at it this way: who is Kenny Rogers? All right, Kenny Rogers is a singer.
Okay.
Okay. His voice is trash. I'm sorry to I like Kenny Rogers. Voice is garbage. Michael Jackson's voice is melodic wonderment.
Godly, yes.
Okay. They're both considered top tier artists. Not to me. Elvis Presley.
Okay.
Made a career by stealing someone else's style, stealing black music,
right,
and white supremacy allowed it to happen.
Mm.
And there were no repercussions. And then use that to become what they call the king. Okay? Black people can't do that. There was a guy named Little Richard who damn near invented rock and roll.
Mm.
Okay? Where is he? Bro. Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest fighters of all time. With that determination,
yeah,
white supremacy destroyed him.
That was white supremacy. Yep.
It's all white supremacy.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to tell you. They destroyed him. I'm not going to say his name, but the leader who became the leader of the Nation of Islam. Okay. He's I'm not going to say his name. Yeah. He has said things
right
that people look at as terrible, right? If you take them and you flip the race, white people have been saying stuff about us like that for the same time. But they destroy him. They make sure he can't get mainstream. If you go on TV, they try to shut you down, right? Because of him. White supremacy.
That's white supremacy.
You know what I'm saying? It makes it so they pass legislation to make it so you cannot get fair due. There are you know how they like to say black people make up the majority of prisoners?
Right.
It's a lie.
It's a lie, yeah.
It's a lie. But you know what they never say when they say that? That black people are the most exonerated. Meaning, I think it's about 59% of people that get arrested that are black get free because they weren't guilty.
Okay.
But you know what they don't tell you also? That they pass laws so that, because it used to get $1 million for every year you were unjustly locked up.
Mm.
Then they pass laws to ensure that you can only get a certain amount of money. There's a cap now.
Wow.
So I can take your life away. Oops, you can only get this much money. Because Rodney King made a buttload of money. He didn't go to jail for that long. You know what I mean? There are people that were in jail for 30 years.
Okay.
And they were just like, sorry, we put a cap. You can only make this much money.
Mm.
It's white supremacy, bro. It's white supremacy.
Yeah.
They're making it so you cannot get fairness because it doesn't happen to white people.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And they make it difficult. There's no.
Well, do we know that though for sure?
Everything I've said is verifiable. Everything I've said so far, you can go look it up yourself. I keep telling people, my favorite thing to say is, don't listen to me. I'm just some chubby dude talking to you.
Yeah.
You can go look it up yourself. From the towns underwater that are lakes to the black people that are, look what they do to Bill Cosby when he tried to take over
I'm not defending Bill Cosby.
I'm not asking you to. I'm saying when Bill Cosby tried to take over a network, look what they did to him. When Michael Jackson tried to take over a record label, look what they did to him. When Prince wouldn't acquiesce and let them screw him over and kept trying to come back and get him, look what they did. When Tupac kept redoing his contract because he realized he was making more money, he should be making more money. Look how they down with. He's a thug. He's terrifying. It's what they do. They use propaganda to make it. That's why
the media is powerful.
Mm-hmm. And who owns the media? White people. And it used to be that's the biggest problem with this country. It used to be you could look at the media and be like, okay, at least somewhere they're gonna come out and they're gonna try to make it fair. Right. No, because now all media is owned by like 6 people. 6 people own all the media in America.
Yeah, it's like 3 companies, right?
No, I said 6 people.
Oh, 6 people, okay.
That own those companies.
Okay.
Right. Run everything.
Yeah.
And when I say everything, I mean they have videos that you can go look up. Don't listen to me, just a fat guy. That they have talking points where someone in Seattle will say something, and then someone in Florida will say the exact same thing. Someone in New York will say something. Someone in Nevada will say the same thing because it's a talking point that is spread out through all the nation that they have to push. Same thing. It's what they do. And now with Trump in office, he's doing the thing where he's allowing, like, now we're getting bloggers and he's going to make it so if you don't agree with him, we're just not going to let you have access.
We're speculating on
No,
that.
we're not speculating. He said this is what he said. He's letting people in. The next step is to get people. Dude, he literally said, I'm going to get
I
people
don't
out
know
of the
that.
federal government, and I'm going to have people that agree with me in those positions. That's what he said.
Oh, you did say that, yeah.
He said that.
But I don't really want to go that direction.
Okay, but I'm just like, and guess what? That's white supremacy. I'm going to have people that agree with my whiteness in positions of power.
Okay, it's the same with the
Say it again. That's the same as what? Everything else, right? Which is white supremacy. Thank you for proving my point.
sure. Although I don't find it an excuse to be poor.
I never said it was.
Yeah.
No. To
But
be
I'm
poor,
sure somebody's
yes.
gonna.
Have a poor mindset. No.
Yes.
No. To be poor, it's an excuse to be poor. Because if you're fighting and you're fighting,
It's a good excuse.
it's a great excuse to be poor.
you
But
know?
to have a poor mindset,
Right,
there's
right.
nothing that gives you a excuse to have a poor mindset.
Right.
Nothing. You
That
should
is my
always be
pet peeve.
striving.
That's
Right.
my pet
And I'll never tell you to stop.
Okay, fair enough.
My problem is you gave poor people. I don't know what it is about you
Whoa.
poor people.
I'm frustrated with poor people because they like to complain.
As am I.
They
I agree.
like to complain even though the blueprints are out there or the help is out there. That's my issue. Like just driving around my town, like I pass a couple of places that are like nonprofit organizations that just gives you food or they help you out with insurance. They'll help find a place for you to live. And yet I go around the corner and I still see broke people begging. I saw one chick on roller skates with a sign. Hey, give me some money. I'm like, what?
You have to differentiate. That was funny as hell. You have to differentiate broke and poor. Those are two different things. We're broke,
Okay,
but we're not poor.
right.
Poor is different
Okay,
because those programs talking about broke people can't get into those programs.
broke people. Okay.
Yeah. Poor
Okay.
people can get it. Broke people can't. Nah, because you'll try to get food stamps. Try to get food stamps.
I can't get food.
Exactly my point, sir. You cannot. You make too much.
Unless I fudge the numbers, but don't listen to me.
Don't fudge
I
the
don't
numbers.
know. I don't know.
They'll find you.
He does.
I do know. You think I ain't tried? Man, please, I would love to get food stamps. Nope.
Oh my gosh. I have one person I met who he has a kid who doesn't help him out with nothing. Right?
You mean the girl don't help out with nothing?
No, his kid.
Is it an adult child?
It's an adult.
Oh,
It's an
I'm
adult
like,
child.
why would a 4-year-old be helping him? I'm like, he's a kid.
No, he's an old person.
Okay.
He lives with his kid who's an adult. Doesn't help him out with anything. And I remember I was like, "Are you guys beefing or something?" He's like, "I don't know. I don't know what I did to him." I'm like, "Okay, well, does he pay anything at least? Does he pay any bills?" No, he doesn't pay any bills. Does he pay for food? No, he just eats whatever he wants. And at the same time, he has food stamps, so he's living there for free because he fudged the numbers. He's living there for free. He doesn't pay for anything. He doesn't help them out. These are his parents. Doesn't help them out when they need help. And at the same time, he's taking advantage of the system. So if I see him on the street or something like that, it's like, why should I help you?
The kid's getting food stamps?
The kid is getting food stamps.
Whose fault is all that?
The state.
No, it's the parents. If you live in my house and you getting food stamps and you ain't giving me none, you getting out.
I agree.
Period, point blank. Ain't no agree.
Yeah,
Get out. I'll kick you out now.
they are too nice.
You out your mind.
Yes.
Man, if you don't get out of here, you know how much food stamps is like paying half off everything with no taxes.
I know.
You out of your mind. You bugging.
Yes, that's why if I see him on the street, I will not feel bad. This is why I feel. This is how I feel about poor people. Because like they're every now and then. Oh my gosh, I used to go to work after I got off the highway, and I saw this lady every morning. She'd have a different outfit on. She would have her sign. I'm like, dang man, I wish I could, or I wish I don't. And then one day I was like, I was gonna visit somebody, and I see her walking to her house, and she's sitting on her porch, just chilling. I'm like, you have a house? Oh heck no, heck no. Yeah.
You told her to go use the system. She used the system and got a house. What are you mad at her for? She did what you told her to do.
Well, don't beg, because you're making poor people look bad. That's my problem, yo. I don't like the excuses. But long story short, white supremacy is a good excuse, but we don't like it when poor people use it as the excuse.
No.
Because we're in the age of the internet. Like you can literally do a TikTok, you can do a dance, shaking your hips and stuff like that, and you can make millions of dollars. There's no excuses anymore. There's literally none.
It's not easy.
What do you mean it's not easy?
It's not easy.
It's definitely easy.
If it was easy, we would have $1 million right now because we're both on TikTok doing this video right now.
No, we're not.
Okay.
Not yet.
It's not
we
easy.
should. We should.
It's not
We should get
easy.
TikTok.
It's difficult. Everything. There's nothing. There's one easy way to make money in this country, and it's a billion to one shot, and that's the lotto. That's it.
The lottery?
Yes.
Oh, you're bugging.
How am I bugging?
The lottery?
Yeah. It's a billion to one shot.
It's definitely rigged. I don't know.
Oh, I thoroughly agree. That's why it's so hard. It's the only way to make money easy in this country. There is no way to make money easy in this country. People like to think, oh, he was an overnight success. Nobody's an overnight success. There's no such thing. It's a fabrication of mind.
You mean
it just
legally?
means, huh?
You mean legally?
No, even illegally.
Even illegally?
You can't be rich illegally. Bro, if you sell, you know how much drugs sell for? Have you ever sold drugs?
No, I don't.
Okay, I know someone who has sold drugs before. And drugs, you don't start out as a kingpin, bro. You start out as a dude on the corner, like get a little 50 pack or something, and you sell it off. You make like, depending on how you cut it, you make like 75 maybe.
We're going to base off a TV show.
No, I'm not.
I am.
I'm going based off of what I have seen in the world. And prices were better back then, but I digress. You go for what you can make.
Probably pure.
Yeah, way pure back then.
Yeah.
But you come up slowly, bro. People will tell you, working on being a drug dealer is like minimum wage job. It's less than a minimum wage job. The difference is there's no time limits for when you can work, and you can add more illegal things to it. If I see him on the block selling, I'm gonna take his stuff. I'm gonna wait till he makes money. I'm gonna rob you. Now I wouldn't. That's my man. But I'm saying that's what I would do. Like Omar.
Yeah.
Remember Omar? Omar, come out,
Yeah.
I'll come rob you. I'm gonna rob the drugs. I'll take all your work, and I'll take your money, and I'll sell your work back to you. Like, but even that is slow because you know who you never saw living in a high rise? Omar.
Okay.
You saw Barksdale living there.
Omar didn't expand, so that's his issue.
He couldn't. You think if he tried to expand, what's the first thing gonna happen? They're gonna come and kill him.
Yeah.
They want their money back. We know who you are. You have to stay hidden.
All right, fair enough.
And how many rich drug dealers you see on the wire?
Fair enough.
You saw Barksdale and Stringer. Everybody else was broke.
Yeah.
Or like just decent.
I don't know. Man.
You had to be like Skinny Charles to be middle class. Everybody else was on the corner every day. They spent their whole life on that corner or under the Carter, not the Carter, but the hotel, whatever, the apartment complex trying to make money. That's a minimum wage job. You think they want to be there? If you're rich, you can sit home.
See, when I look at OnlyFans models, it's like
that's not easy either. I tell people that OnlyFans ain't easy. Yo, let's be clear. I know dudes get married. Oh, she just showing her coop.
Are you saying that by experience or just speculation?
I'm saying that not pseudo, but secondhand experience because I know a friend who does it. And yo, to be popping on OnlyFans, your whole life has to be OnlyFans.
You got a network.
You gotta be pumping out content. Your content has to be slapping, and you gotta have people who know how to push traffic to you. You gotta make friends. That's why if you go on Twitter, you'll see people. Oh, this is my girl. Oh, this is my on Snap. This is my homegirl. Go check her page out.
Yeah.
They're doing it for each other. They're trying to drive interest. That dude might have a fetish for you, but he on your page now. He know I exist. It's all that, and when they get to your page got to have so much fly content on it that he want to stay and pay that money.
I do have a thought on that.
Yeah.
One second. So I'm now that you're talking, I'm realizing that poor people are terrible at networking, and that's their problem.
Sir, define networking.
Networking and sales. So networking is getting to the point where you're able to present your thoughts and your ideas and present the need in a way that people feel comfortable and they actually like you. Because with sales, it's more about what they get out of it, and then also, how something benefits them, and also if they like the presenter. So with poor people, they have an issue where they can't control their emotions. So of course they're going to be fighting at the Popeyes, they're going to be fighting at McDonald's.
You hate poor people so.
Oh my goodness!
It's not poor people.
I don't hate them.
People
I
are
dislike them thoroughly.
That's you hate
to the point where my blood
pressure boils. Yes. Equals hate. That's funny. That was funny, sir. People en masse have a problem with networking. I can sell.
Yeah, but yeah,
but I can't.
We're in a capitalistic society.
Correct, because the people who have had the the head start on how to do businesses have done most of them.
Right. Hence why it's great that we have the internet because we can learn this stuff.
Let me ask you a question. This is gonna be good. I'm sorry. Hey, I touch people. I'm sorry. Let me ask you a question. What name a movie that you haven't seen that you want to see right now?
That I have not
That
seen.
you haven't seen that you want to see right now. Exactly. You know why? Because to know what you're looking for, you have to know what it is and what to look for and where to look for it. If you don't know to look for how to learn a business, how to learn what an S corp is, how to learn what an LLC is, do you know why we know what that is?
It's not an excuse.
It is an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
The only reason we know what that is, right? But you have to know. You have to know what you're looking for. If you don't know,
you don't have to know what you're looking for.
You have to know. How do you start?
How do you start a business? Boom. Google will tell you everything.
It's not, but it's not. It's going to say to start a business, do this, do this, do this. It's not going to say, hey, it'd be best if you had this and you get your EIN number. It's not going to tell you that. Do you know why we know that? Do you know why we know that?
Because I've Googled it.
No.
And I've gone to YouTube.
No.
And I've listened. Google. I've networked.
It's not
all
network.
This and that.
It's not any of that. The reason we know that is because we have IG channels and we scroll and that shit came across your IG one day and you were like, oh snap. Oh, that is a good idea. So that's how we have the majority of the stuff. Our algorithm, because of the stuff that we look at on a regular basis, they might not look at that.
How do you start a business? Then the algorithm will say, hey, you can start a t-shirt business.
That's a good try.
Hey, you can do e-commerce.
How many t-shirt businesses are there, sir?
Look on the internet.
Billions.
Okay, so
you're not making money doing the t-shirt.
That's cap.
It's not.
TikTokers are doing it all the time.
And they're not rich. You keep thinking people are getting rich.
Oh my goodness.
Let me ask you a question.
You don't have to be rich.
Who do we know personally that sells t-shirts?
I know one person.
That we know together.
Together? No.
Trevor.
Oh, Trevor does. Okay. Well,
is Trevor rich?
He's not good at marketing.
But Trevor's on that same algorithm. He's not only has he looked up how to do it, he's doing it. And he's still not rich, so that destroys your thing.
Trevor's doing things for recreation.
You know why I can't go with that? Because you can't recreationally run a channel for 5 years. And he has. You can't.
That's what he's been doing. That's what he said.
No. What you say and what you do is different. I can say, man, I don't really care what people think about me. I do what I want. But I know when certain people say things, I'm like, oh, I don't want to be looked at in that light. I know that when I first came on the channel with y'all, when I was first on the show, but when the show first got made, I knew I came off a way, and I curtailed that because I wanted to be looked at a different way. I wanted people to look at me from what my intelligence, not just my boisterosity. So what you say and what you do is two different things. You cannot run a page or a channel for 5 years recreationally. It will have fallen apart by now. If he was running this recreationally, we wouldn't be on the show. And that's a fact, and you know that.
I think you missed the group chat. But I do get what you're saying.
He can say he ran.
I get what you're saying. At the same time, if you're running a business, it's about improving. It's about improving revenue every year.
Correct.
Is what they technically want to do, or technically say you should do. But in general, when it comes to what we've seen, I haven't seen too much improvements other than like the thumbnails and stuff like that.
That's marketing. I don't think he's a good marketer.
I just said that.
Right. But you're talking.
This is why I know.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
I'm not saying he's a great marketer. I'm saying he can't. You can't say he's a recreational runner of his channel. You can't, because there's nothing you can. Recreation means I'm just having fun. I'm not really taking it serious. You can't, because if you do, I'll tell you like this. Do you think I'm recreational on his show? Do you think I'm a recreational part of his show?
Yeah.
You know why I can't be?
Why?
Because I've missed one show in my life. I've missed one show.
Okay, you're dedicated to your hobby.
You can't be recreational and dedicated. It doesn't go together.
Dedicated to your hobby.
You can't be recreational and dedicated. It doesn't go together.
Oh my goodness.
That's like when these females go, I'm so demure, but got the nails that are long. You can't be both. Demure means something. Dedicated means something. If you're dedicated, it's not recreational. You're taking it seriously. If you're on a softball team and you haven't missed a game in 5 years, you're taking it seriously. Now, could you take it more seriously? Yes.
Right. Well, I said he's bad at marketing, so
I'm not disputing that. Maybe Trevor would say he was bad at marketing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, because I know I'm not good at marketing, so I can't tell him what he's bad at.
I'm not either.
What he's doing, I'll look at it and go, that looks fly. You probably go, what the hell are you doing? Because you're better at marketing than we are.
Yeah.
That's why if I were Trevor,
I'm decent.
but you're better than him.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Well,
yeah.
you feel like you're better than him. Do you feel like you're better than him? Just say yes. Okay.
Yes.
So if I were Trevor, I would hire you. I would go, okay, but Trevor's not going. But that's a whole. We're not going to get into Trevor because he's not here to.
So how do we get on this tangent about poor people?
Because Trevor's poor. No, I'm playing. We poor, I'm poor. But anyway, yeah, man, you have this preconceived notion. Yeah, you have this preconceived notion that all poor people have poor mindsets. No, if all poor people have poor mindsets, why are poor people becoming rich? Exactly my point.
The internet.
You can't have it both ways.
Yes,
if
you
poor
can.
people have poor mindset, if all poor people all have poor mindsets, then they can never come out of it because their mindset's always poor.
Okay.
I'm saying there are poor people who have rich mentalities. Okay? There are poor people who have moderate mentalities. Then there are poor people who have poor mentalities, and they're never going to change. That's who you can hate. You can hate them.
Okay,
but you can't hate all poor people because all poor people aren't the same. These poor people are the people who live over here. That's the guy who made the first T-shirt business. That's the guy who was selling the rock back in the day.
I'm not mad at them.
But they're poor until they become rich. And in your mind, you hate them.
No. Oh.
You just said poor people before he
I don't
makes
like
the breakthrough.
I don't like the mindset. The poor mindset.
Oh, so then that's them. Say that.
That's them.
Okay, you haven't said poor mindset once. You said I hate poor people. Stop saying that.
Good thing
say I hate. Yes, and you watch it back. And guess what you're gonna say later?
I hope I said
Hey, Mike, you're right. You're right. Mike. You're right. I'm like, I know.
I hope I said it.
I'm listening. You have to say I hate poor mindsets.
I hate poor mindset.
And guess what? Not an argument to have. Because before you started talking, I said that. So Mike agrees because Mike is right.
So after an hour.
We're right back to where we started. Mike being right. Wakanda.
I don't know about that.
You ain't got to know, but
We get
inside,
back.
no.
Sheesh.
His heart region.
I'm gonna just end it right here. All right, guys. Let us know how you feel about poor people.
I'm done with that. That's funny.
And if you remember, I'm Kevin. In this podcast, I know.
He doesn't. And I'm Mike. It's a wonderful show. I hope you all enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe. We're going to be back with some more hard-hitting takes, deep feelings, and philosophical thoughts. Holler at your boys.
Peace.
Deuces.